Hello, everyone. My name is Sylvia L'Ecuyer, and it's a great pleasure to welcome you again to Intimate Conversations with the guests who are coming to us for Early Music Vancouver. Today, I will be in the company of Justin Taylor, our harpsichordist, founder of the ensemble that is bringing with us the Consort. The concert will be happening on March the 2nd at Christ Church Cathedral, and I will have the pleasure to be there to greet Justin and his colleagues again. And now he is here with us. Good morning, Justin.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
So it is your first visit to Vancouver. We're very glad that you chose to come to us, but you came to Canada a little earlier last year. I think you were in Montreal.
I was last year in Montreal in March also, and I have such good memories about this country, and the people are so nice and they love so much music. It was a true pleasure to be in Montreal, and I'm so much looking forward to be in Vancouver this March.
That's very good. Look, you are a young harpsichordist. You started your study, I saw, with piano, but one time you diverged towards harpsichord. Why? What gave you the incitation to do that?
It was when I was 9 years old, so quite young, because a lot of harpsichordists begin harpsichord when they are like teenagers, 14, 15, or even 18, 20. But I had the chance to be in a small size city in France, which is called Angers. And I was singing in the choir of the conservatory where I was studying piano. And the Kapellmeister was also a harpsichordist, so I discovered the harpsichord quite young, and I was fascinated by this instrument. And so I started when I was 9 at Angers with a very good teacher. So, and then it went on until my concert in Vancouver. So
You switch to an instrument that is sometimes a solo instrument, but most of the time, I think, maybe I'm wrong, it is an ensemble instrument, and you came from choir, so maybe the pleasure of playing with other people was also attractive to you?
absolutely. And what is great with harpsichord is you can start playing with people about 2 or 3 years of studying harpsichord. I mean, the chamber music for piano is really hard and it's like concertos. But with the basso continuo system, you can play some maybe small Telemann sonata with only 2 or 3 years practicing. So from the beginning, you can play with other musicians. And of course, I love playing chamber music with my colleagues. So yeah, absolutely.
And that's why a few years ago with your colleague, not Timothy, what is his name?
Curating. Yeah.
Theotim, you decided to create this ensemble, the Consort. Again, you were still very young to create your own ensemble, no?
We were between like 19 and I was 23. Teotim is a bit younger. But the main point of the concert was to defend the trio sonata repertoire, which is a very, very important genre in the Baroque era, a bit like the string quartet for Mozart and Haydn. The equivalent in the Baroque period is this trio sonata genre, and not that much ensembles are performing this very specific repertoire. So we wanted to to focus on this repertoire and to bring it to the larger audience possible.
Well, explain to us the mystery of the trio sonata, where you are actually four people,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's not a trio.
it's always a bit strange. People are like, but was it trio sonata? But you were four on stage. The Actually, you have to understand that trio sonata it's writing in 3 parts. 2 parts are the treble parts played by 2 violins, and the third part is a basso continuo, which is played by 2 instruments, me at the harpsichord and Anna at the cello. The basso continuo can be always played by 2, 3, or even 4 instruments, and they mix bowed instruments, cello, viola da gamba, double bass, with plucked instrument, harmonic instruments as harpsichord, theorbo, guitar, organ. And the match between the 2 instruments is really interesting. So that's why we perform trio sonata, but we are four.
And am I right in thinking that in the trio sonata, the 2 violins, the treble instruments, are there for the elaboration and the show off and the virtuosity, and the basso continuo is more steady in a sense, but also you have to kind of improvise your notes, no? Is it?
Absolutely, yeah. My part at the harpsichord, just the left hand is written with some numbers above. It's a bit like the jazz mindset. I mean, it's the composer says which chord you are supposed to play, but you have like so many different possibilities, and you can play in the upper part of the keyboard, in the lower part. You can play the rhythm you want, but of course the bon goût, the good taste has to, uh, um, it's not about just doing what you want to do, of course, but it's mainly improvised. And about the link with the two violins, yes, the two violin parts are quite virtuosic, and for the bass part, it's depends of the composer and repertoire. But for instance, in the Vivaldi Folia, the bass part is also very, very virtuosic, and it's like a battle between the violins and our continuo section. So I don't know who will win in Vancouver, but we have also some notes to play.
Well, tell me, who are your opponents then in that battle? So you will have two young women who will be your partners in that, and I think Sophie and Angela. No,
Augusta, yeah,
Augusta.
Augusta,
Sorry about
yeah,
that.
yeah, no problem.
Sophie and Augusta who will be then
Yeah.
your partner or your enemies in the battle. And I think you've been working and playing together for a long time.
Yes, absolutely. Sophie, of course, is also a founder member of the Consort, so she will be the third violin. And Augusta is also a very close musician to us. She will be replacing Théotime because Théotime is waiting a second child just around the concert of Vancouver. So it was too stressful for him to be on the so far away from his home, which is Paris too. So we had to find another musician, but Augusta is also a marvelous American violinist. So we are very happy to play with her, and we already performed a lot with Augusta. So I'm very, very happy to have Sophie and Augusta and Anna at the cello.
That's great. And the part of the cello I saw in some of your recordings can be very virtuoso as well.
It can be, yeah. It's the moment in the history of music where the cello begins to be like a soloist instrument also. In the 17th century, it was very, like you said before, like just accompanying and being the basis for the melodic lines and virtuosity. But the more you go to the end of the 18th century, the more the cello has a very exciting part and is becoming to have a solo voice too.
Give us an example, not an example, an idea of the repertoire you're bringing to us. I see names of French composers like Jean-François d'Andrieux. I see Heinrich Weber, then German, Merula, Uccellini, Italian. So you're doing a little European tour in your repertoire. Is there a big difference in the styles of those musics?
There are quite a big differences. Yes, it was a Baroque period is very each country, each epocha has its own style, and French is quite different from German, from Italian. And as I said before, the trio sonata genre is quite neglected. So I'm not sure, like each day you have a trio sonata concert in Vancouver. So the idea was to bring to the audience like a overview of quite large trio sonata repertoire. And also for our concert, we are very keen on having the most varied repertoire, and like we are always afraid the people will be how to say annoyed or just falling asleep, and so we always try to play some very contrasted pieces. Some are very, very deepful and melancholic, and others very, very virtuosic. So we try to find the good match between all these different characters.
Well, from what I saw on the web, because I was curious and I went to hear you a bit, there is not a big chance to fall asleep during your
Yeah,
concert.
we hope so.
I must say. You will bring recordings with you?
Yeah, we will. Yeah, of course. It's our, I think we released 4 CDs now, just instrumental music. So, and each time we try to focus on one major composer like Corelli, Vivaldi, Purcell, and alongside this quite known figure, we always manage to find some never recorded music. And so, as we will play Dandrieux, which we made the first recording of the Dandrieux sonatas, who were published in 1705 in Paris, and we will play also Giovanni Battista Reali, which was a composer very close to Vivaldi. He was also a violinist in Venice exactly at the same time, and his music is not at all known today, but still so beautiful. So it's also, I think, our mission to discover new music, and it's always very moving to feel that we are playing for the audience music never played since 300 years. So it's quite an honor to be the first ones to perform it.
Going back a little bit to your roots, because your name is Justin Taylor or Justin Taylor, people say sometimes that you are American origin, but you were born and raised in France, and I think your father is American, and that's
Exactly, yeah. So my English is not at all fluent or perfect, and I have this very specific French accent. And yeah, I grew up in Angers, this mid-sized city. It's about 3 hours driving west from Paris. And but yes, my father is from the States, and but he spent all his life in Europe and France, so he feels a bit European too. So that's
Oh.
why I stayed mostly in France. But it's always very interesting to visit other countries, specifically the States and Canada. And I know there is like very nice halls to play and very good audience. So it's yeah, a pleasure to come in February and March for this North American tour.
Yeah, because you will visit 7 different cities during that
Yeah,
tour.
exactly. We are starting in the Vermont state, and we are starting East Coast, and then going a bit to Kansas City, and then up to Seattle and Portland and Vancouver. And
Obviously, you're not carrying your harpsichord with you, so that's quite a challenge because you have to adapt to every different instrument.
yeah, it's like the I mean, very few pianists travel with their instruments. I think Daniel Barenboim is traveling with his Steinway, but obviously I'm not traveling with a harpsichord. So each day you have to discover a new instrument. You have to just have the good amount of time to get used to it, because each harpsichord is also very different. Just back, I have a little spinet, which is a bit like a upright piano for piano. It's a quite small harpsichord, but still very good. But yeah, it's like the repertoire. German harpsichord, French harpsichord, Italian harpsichords are completely different. And so depending on the concerts, sometimes I have a 2 manual French harpsichord, and the day after it's a single manual Italian with half less notes. You have to adapt, but it's harpsichord is life, so I'm fine with it.
It's very interesting because we're talking about tradition and old music and knowing le bon goût and very specific way of playing this instrument. And then you have to be a chameleon. I mean, it's very
Yeah,
extraordinary.
yeah,
So
yeah.
there is quite a few harpsichords available here in Vancouver. So do you contact early music and you say, if you would have maybe an Italian one, that would be better for
Yeah,
me?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, often I ask for what we call the Franco-Flemish harpsichord, which is one of the most common in the 18th century, and it has 2 keyboards, so you can have several types of sound, and it's really easy to accompany when you play basso continuo with two keyboards. So I ask often for this, and often like the organizer, they send me an email saying, so we have this one or this one, and which one do you prefer? And I say, oh, I think this one would be the best. And and then I see what what I'm playing.
Do you know at this point what you will be playing on in Vancouver?
I think I could know, but I didn't look yet. But I think I saw some emails about it, so I'm not worried about the quality of the instrument.
You do seem to be the worried type, I must say. I mean, you enjoy your nomadic and improvisatory life a lot. It's only a young career you have, but going to continue to go on with your friends like that?
Yeah. I mean, it's always a pleasure, and I mean, there is so much repertoire to play. All the great composers have written some trio sonatas. Johann Sebastian Bach, Antonio Vivaldi, Purcell, Handel, Rameau, Lully. I mean, everyone has written some trio sonatas. So we could go on for centuries if we live so long. So yeah, it's always rediscovering new music and. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what life will bring to us. But yeah, for the moment, it's really so. I'm so grateful to be part of this ensemble and to be able to bring this music to larger audience.
Well, we're looking forward to it, Justin, with Sophie, Augusta, and Anna. On March the 2nd at Christ Church Cathedral, I will be there to greet you, and it will be a great honor to have you play on our instruments at home. Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
see you there.